The reason we don't just relax and trust is because we really believe what we believe. We really insist upon what we believe. So let's say a fear comes up for you, and you know that you quote unquote should or want to have more faith in me, capital M, meaning the I am within you, the God presence within you. So you know better, you know to release the fear. But the fear is there, it's projecting an image into the future. Negative emotion comes in, and you grip even more to that idea that something bad can happen. Then, if you in that moment cannot let go of the belief, if you cannot see and reason your way out of that belief, then you could try the following, which is welcome everyone, can you hear me? Wonderful, thank you. All right, take a deep breath and relax. Take another deep breath. And let go. Take another deep breath in. And relax. Bring your attention to the presence of yourself. That mysterious quality that you are. This fact that you exist. Every time you place your attention on that innermost me within you, that sense of me, it's a unique sense. There's nothing like it. You wake up a little bit. It's like a remembrance, a little homecoming, a moment of illumination, of self-remembrance. Everything has a flavor to it, a certain texture, every experience, every ordinary experience, if there is such a thing. But every experience that you can label, that you can identify, that you can isolate. But the experience of me, your innermost me is quite distinct. It comes with a little jolt of, I remember that I forgot myself, and now I remember. It's that little subtle shock moment where you remember in that moment that you have forgotten yourself for the entire duration between this moment and your most recent former moment of me cognition, the recognition of this me essence. So that little jolt of self-remembrance, when you feel it, that's a confirmation that you are recognizing what I'm talking about. This is the open door that leads to God and beyond, if you will. This is the open door in all of this, in everyone who is conscious of being. Learn to pivot, learn to flip-flop back and forth between what it's like to forget yourself and experience something every day versus bringing your attention back to the innermost knowledge of being, that innermost gnosis, that knowingness of I am. When you do it, quote unquote, correctly, when you get the shift from form to formless, from passing to changeless, from objects to subject, you will feel this little jolt of, as if you wake up. It's a little jolt of awakening, as if you have been dreaming this whole time. And you are now finally back home, and you kind of forgot what it was like. So it's a little moment of relief. It's a little sigh of relief. That is a moment of awakening to what you are. And what you are contains everything that you need, that you desire, and much more that you can't even conceive of, that you want, or that you need, or that you desire. Because you haven't been trained properly by your society to know what you want, what's possible for you, what you're made of, and so on. So we are sort of stuck chasing these conditioned experiences that we have been taught contains something that we are. But this is the key to the kingdom of heaven. This is the gate, the ever open door, is the I am. The sense I exist. The knowledge of me, that innermost sense of me that is distinct from every other type of experience or sensation or thought. It's not a thought. It's just an awareness. It's not a word. It's just the inevitable, the beingness. It's not an emotion. It's you are. It's a continuity. It continues in perpetuity. It never leaves you. As I'm speaking, you've had a bunch of thoughts. You've had a bunch of shifts in the flavor of your experience. But there's something in you to which I have been speaking this whole time, from which you have been hearing what I've been speaking this whole time. What is that basis? Everything has a basis, no? Some Buddhists will tell you otherwise, but they're wrong. Everything has a basis. What's the basis of every experience that you've ever had? It's you. How obvious could that be? You have been the basis of everything you've ever experienced. Every single thing. No matter how painful it was. No matter how excited you were. No matter how beautiful it was. No matter how ugly it was. You have been there for you, with you this whole time. Not you, the ego, as you know, because that's a little deceiver. And you want to stop receiving the deceiver. But the innermost you has never left you. That stability you've been looking for has been here in that formless form of me, your innermost knowing that you are. Again, that's your access to God, my friends. That is your access. Completely free, completely accessible, belonging to you and you alone. But it's the same for all sentient beings. It's the same gateway. Never forget that the stable factor of all your experiences is you. It's that basis of you, the background, that innermost you. And then what do? Once you've been able to identify it through a moment of recognition, by bringing your attention to that innermost knowingness of I. I is always with you. Me is always with you. So become aware of that me, that deep sense of I am. And then you rest your attention more frequently in that presence, in that recognition, so that that little jolt of self-remembrance becomes a more ongoing stream, a more effortless, obvious recognition that just arises for you throughout the day. You don't even have to try anymore at some point. It's just blatantly obvious. It's like your own face is in your face the whole time. Your own true self is there. The presence is undeniable. And then you will no longer be deceived by objects of perception, including your own egoic tendencies, your own substitute caretaker, your own gremlin, that little fake parent which you have adopted at some point as a child because you felt unsafe. This AI program that you have been associating yourself with erroneously so. Biggest mistake of our lives. You are not this AI program that you cultivated, that you let into your house, that you trained through your experiences, your fears, your relationships, your breakups, your ups, your downs, and so on, to take care of you. You felt so scared, so alone, so unsafe, so afraid of feelings and the emotional guidance system, which all that's ever trying to do is get your perspective right, back into alignment. But you're so afraid of feelings, negative feelings, lack, death, people leaving, being betrayed, finances not going well, your business not going well, your parents not approving of you, your friends not liking you, the public shaming you, whatever it might be. And because of so many fears, because of that small perspective of self, you adopted an artificial intelligence way before our little Silicon Valley nerds with all due respect, because it's pretty impressive stuff. But came up with AI. You already created AI within yourself, an artificial intelligence that functioned as a substitute parent. You adopted a program that could keep you safe throughout all of these perceived challenges and fears and threats. And you became so comfortable with this AI chatterbot, you started talking to this AI chat box in your mind, that you became completely enmeshed with it. And now, to a large extent, more for some of you than others, but still, depending on how much you've practiced it, teachings which are meant to give you back to yourself, to free you of this oppression by your own free will. So all of you, to some extent, most probably, have become a little enmeshed with this artificial program. In a sense, you've become a cyborg, to keep it in the analogy here. So you've fused with this AI. It's now part of your system, part of your thoughts, part of your body even. Part of what creates your reality. Part of what determines your relationships, your communication, your avoidance patterns, your grasping patterns, and so on. So the whole art of freedom, because freedom is a reality, but the art of getting yourself back to freedom is essentially as simple as I just, in this little guided meditation that we started with, pointed you to. But you got to cut through the AI noise. You got to pause the chat box in your brain and marvel at the mystery and endlessness and formlessness of I am, of your own self. And then you must remember yourself. This will cut through your contract with the AI. So take that with you into the rest of your life, if you wish, because you really do have the power by this very simple instruction. You have the power to free yourself from all AI, from all false gods, the ideas that you worship in your mind, out of fear, out of self-protection. Because the more you notice this me as ever-present, as formless, as indestructible, as no matter what passes through the screen of this awareness, you, this I amness, the intrinsic beingness within this awareness, never is affected. Once you know that you are that, and therefore you are never affected, why would you need this false substitute program, substitute parent, to plan your life for you and to determine when to say hi to someone and when not to, when to send a text back and when not to, when to go get a job and when not to, when to follow your heart and when that's maybe not the smartest thing in the world. This whole scheming, AI is constantly scheming on your behalf. It's your personal concierge. But it's taken over. That's not good. Doesn't make you happy. It suppresses your purpose for being. It suppresses the quiet but powerful clarity of Source as it communicates to you, first and foremost, through the formless presence of being and being one with that beingness. That is the first message, is always this ongoing perpetual oneness with the Creator, with your Creator, with Source. And therefore, essentially, with all that there is. For there is no separation in the final analysis. That's just a hallucination, an idea. So this oneness substrate, this basis, is the primary communication. But beyond that, Source also communicates, instructs, guides, protects, clarifies your seeking, your journey. So once you're in touch with that, what will be the purpose of this little chat box, this limited little chat box based on fear? Let go into the mystery instead, and let the intelligence which resides there guide you step by step. Forget yourself so you can remember yourself. Forget the AI for just a moment, over and over again, and recognize that you never left you. Okay, my friends, I have some good news. This will be the last Bentinho live session, at least in this format. I don't think I even told my team I came up with this yesterday, so. Hi team, good news. This is the last Bentinho live session. I will continue for now. There might be some restructuring that we'll do to Massaro University, but that will probably still take a few months because we're busy right now with the planning of the God Tour and all that. So, as well as the release of my book, which is part of the reason why I feel to stop the Bentinho live sessions for now. I think we have 30 or so, I don't know what number this is, but we have 30 or so relatively long form videos, rich with instructions. We've published it all on YouTube as well. So there's only so much you can say at any given time. I will continue for now, as I was saying, to do the Q&As with the adepts. But I will no longer do these themed lectures, at least not for the foreseeable future. Now, I say it's good news because all news is good news, especially if you learn to define it, to view it, to interpret it as good news, then it shall come to you in positive ways, provided that the power of your will, of your faith, in that positive interpretation is genuine, or you could say is strong enough. But it's more about it being genuine, like genuinely surrendering to the idea that something is a good thing, even when at face value it appears as perhaps a lack of something or a negative thing. That's again the gremlin, the AI program, alerting you of lack. Lack alert, lack alert, lack alert, lack alert. You start stressing out because it's not true. The emotional guidance system is letting you know this lack alert is false. Do not listen. Do not believe it. Do not buy the lie. But oops, it's too late. You get the negative feelings because the emotional guidance system is letting you know it's not true. But you further misinterpret that as you see, it is true because I feel intensely negative. The fear increases even more because the guidance system responds to what you are perceiving, what you are defining, what you are imagining. And you're imagining more lack, more importance given to that lack. And then there we have a negative spiral where you are listening to the AI in your head that you have associated with for so long. and you're missing out on all the beauty of your timeless, eternal, immortal freedom, as well as the emotional guidance system letting you know which thoughts belong to the gremlin, the false you, and which thoughts are in alignment with your true self and the ways the universe actually works. So this is good news. It's good news. Now, I do intend to do other things, collective energy updates, perhaps, and some podcasts, maybe with some members of my team. Corey just started her own podcast. Just go check it out. It's called Perspective with Corey Katuna. I might show up there a few times. We may be live streaming some of the events during the tour, if possible. We'll see. So there will be other things that are exciting, that feel more relevant right now than for me to continue this current format. So I am still excited to work with the adepts because that's more Q&A driven. So I simply answer what arises, what's relevant for you. And then I feel that it's directly helpful for the student, for the seeker. And I like the dedication that is present, the friendships that are present there, and the in-depthness of some of the questions. So that's really where the rubber meets the road. So I will continue these for about 2 to 2.5 hours, twice a month, at least for now, as my touring schedule allows as well. But these free live streams on the feed will no longer be here. And thus also the YouTubes that come out of that will also end for now, at least in this format. But again, it's good news because there's a lot of good stuff coming. And I just need to focus on some other things that feel more relevant and more exciting at the moment, including my book, Potential Restructuring of Massaro University, and the Adept Q&As, the shepherding that we have, the shepherding program, and the travel and the tour and so on, and all the scouting also for the mystery immersion that has been taking place recently. The scouting, that is. More on that later. So I hope it feels like a positive event for you as well. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for your gratitude. Donna says, I'm scared to be free completely from the gremlin. That's completely natural. And then middle of the back hurts when I tune in. The gremlin, for most people, has become like a vine wrapped around a tree. You know, when a young tree starts to grow and vines that are smaller than the tree trunk, they start to sort of wrap around the tree. And in a way, to an extent, they grow together, but at some point it becomes suffocating. Also, they're very difficult to distinguish from each other. Sometimes you've got the trees, and then they're completely covered in vines, and it's hard to tell which ones are actually part of the tree and which ones are vines. And that's the whole game that the gremlin plays. But the thing is, you're in charge. The you, the I am that hears my voice is in charge. It is not up to this AI program. It is not up to your trauma-based employer. That in you, that lack belief in you, that fear for being unsafe within you, that hired this monster of a version of you to begin with. Now, I mean this with love, but also at the same time, if we don't recognize the monstrosity or the bad condition that we're in when we are fused with this gremlin, when we listen all the time to what's going on up here, if we don't understand that we are sick, then we will not seek the medicine and we will not get better. So at the same time, it's again that paradox. We need to be completely loving and accepting of ourselves and develop a zero tolerance, a no-nonsense policy. Our field, our aura, our consciousness should emit a no-nonsense policy field. It's like an electromagnetic barrier, and no nonsense, no BS, no lies, no manipulation, no scheming, no fear even can get through. We do not accept fear. And I say that, and then at the same time, if a fear arises, you must accept it. But it's from the vantage point of fighting yourself loose from the vine to start with. If we don't combine the loving harmony approach of acceptance with zero tolerance for continuing that pattern, then even though we might be able to separate the vines from the actual tree of our true consciousness, our free formless seeing, for a while, but it will collapse back around us. It will take hold of us again. For as long as we agree to these fears, for as long as we think we need what this AI program is selling us, which is always some form of security. So if you were to muster up enough courage to not be afraid, and no rush with this, but hey, it's your life. Take as long as you want to miss the beauty of each moment. So it is you that is in charge. If you can separate the vine from the tree, or at least distinguish between them, then that will greatly help. But when you say, I'm scared to be free completely from the gremlin, that's just the gremlin talking. I'm not saying to force push anything like that psychologically, but just know that that fear and that sort of middle of the back pain or other such psychosomatic symptoms that can arise when you consider letting go completely of the gremlin, those are the final stands of the gremlin, of the AI. You know, wherever it has its hook in you, or its hooks, plural, it's going to try to reel you back in the moment you try to sort of see beyond this facade, this misidentification of the pure I am with those fearful sensations and ideas and manipulations and plans and agendas. So when you are about to choose freedom, this fear will scream and shout, or it can. It doesn't always have to do that, but this is a very common experience. And it will project a lot of fears, like physical fears, like, oh, but if I let go completely of this, schemer in my brain, then this and this and this will happen. And you might feel actual psychosomatic sensations. So if those get really, really intense, feel free to take it easy. I mean, at your own pace. But do understand that that is the gremlin fighting to hold on. It's divine fighting to hold on to the branch of the actual tree of you. So even just seeing it like that and accepting that that's part of the process allows you to soften. It's kind of like the glue between the vine and the tree. You're just softening it up with some lukewarm water, and over time it starts to unstick, so to speak. But yes, when you are considering a radical release into trust, into faith, into surrender, into truthful living, not fake living, not thinking living, not protecting yourself living, like mentally always protecting yourself when it's not even necessary, but faithful living based in the moment, in the presence of Source, which is always with you as that innermost knowing of I am. When you surrender to that, when you consider surrendering to that, a big chunk at a time, then especially the program will fight back. Just ignore it. Ignore the fear if you can. If it really gets so intense that you start, collapsing on the floor or whatever, then maybe take it easy. But don't be too fooled too easily by this fight back mechanism, because it's just another trick. It's just another trick. If you trust in your ability to trust Source over your gremlin, then you are safe. Then you can let go of these projections, these little fish hooks. And there are quite a few spots left for the Zenith retreat, if I'm not mistaken. So, I saw that question. What if God is guiding you to something big? Always is. I mean, big is a human idea, but it's always guiding you to something exciting, something cutting edge, something new, something that hasn't been explored before within all of creation. And so humans would call that big. So what if God is guiding you to something big, which he, she, it always is, and you feel unprepared and even a little incapable of realizing it and of staying pure in the process? Well, again, who are you listening to? Are you listening to this exciting guidance from God? Like I said, God communicates oneness first and foremost. That's the vibrational basis. That's your domain. That's that home feeling. That's that, I remember that I forgot myself, but now I can hear myself again. I know myself. I sense my own presence. It's formless. It's not this idiot that I've been identifying with and acting through this whole time. No, it's my actual aliveness. It's the sentience. It's the basis of my every perception. It's the inseparable substratum that is like space to the objects, but it's subtler than even space, because even space is just a sensation within this purity, within this beautiful, mysterious purity, which is God in you. Do you want to trust that, or do you want to trust this? I feel unprepared. I'm not sure I'm ready. Not sure I'm pure enough. That again is the AI system trying to hold you back, because if your branches suddenly grow too fast, it's going to snap the vines that look like the tree that are bound up around the branches. So if the tree itself, the real self, expands too fast, the vine knows it's going to break and lose control. So the AI program that you've called yourself, a lot of people call it the ego, I call it the gremlin, I call it many things, but it's like an AI program. When it realizes that, hey, wait a second, expansion alert, expansion alert, expansion alert, rapid accelerated life alert, exciting future ahead alert, a blissful jump into freedom and trust and faith alert, and so it goes to DEFCON 1, or whatever the highest is, I think that's DEFCON 1, and it starts to hold you back. It starts to suggest all the ways in which it can hold you back, all the fears, all the reasons why you adopted this AI system in the first place, because you tolerated fear. Now, don't judge yourself for this, but we do need to take a stand against it if we want to break the spell going forward. If you want to get more of what you've had, then by all means, continue to give in to those fears and be like, yeah, but I'm only human. You're not only human. Human is the tiniest little chopped off toenail from 15 months ago aspect of yourself. Human is a very, very tiny expression aspect of yourself. And when we say, I'm only human, what do we mean? The examples we've been given by other humans. There's no actual definition of what it means to be human. And usually how we define it is, weak and lonely and imperfect and this and that. I'm only human. Yeah. No, you are God. You are this great perfection. You are infinity itself, expressing itself in form, seeking an exciting outlet to know more of itself, to share more of itself, to free itself and other selves back to its true self. So we have to, in a sense, not tolerate this assumption of, I'm only human and this is normal. No, it's not normal. It's a choice. If you're scared, it's because you choose to be afraid. You choose to hold on to perspective. That's not true. What is fear? It's the emotional guidance system responding to an idea that's not true, that's not accurate, that's not in harmony with the way things actually function. That's why you feel afraid when you have a thought that goes against the structure of the universe, such as, I could be lacking this. I could be none supported. Oh, I could cease to exist one day. These are very untrue thoughts that go against the energy of the universe. The universe responds as a negative emotion to let you know that's not true. And it responds with bliss and freedom and joy and purity and peace when you are aligning to perspectives, ways of seeing that are more accurate, that are more true to the structure of existence. So who cares that you're not perfectly pure, or at least in your own estimation? Who cares that you're not prepared? One of my teachings during the Be Life sessions was all about that. It's like, be unprepared. Be unprepared. Start living unprepared. Go have that session unprepared. Go have a meeting unprepared. Go have an interview unprepared. Go have that relationship experience or talk unprepared. So if God's guiding you to something big, which it always is, then awesome, power to you. That's exciting. Please let that energy in. Please trust that and lovingly say goodbye to the vines that keep you suffocated. Okay? Don't listen to the fears. But for as long, my friends, as you keep listening to the fears, you keep entertaining it. It's like a little itchy mosquito bite, and you just, I just want to scratch it. Yeah, but this fear thought, it's so compelling. For as long as you fall for that trap, for exactly that long will you continue to extend the contract of the gremlin, which holds you back, which is, I don't want to say too nasty of a word, but it's fucking you over. Let's put it that way. It's not your friend, okay? This AI dude or chick or whatever the fuck you are these days is not helpful, is not keeping you safe. It's doing the opposite. And the longer you agree to that, the longer it can continue to fuck you over. So, of course, accept everything as it is, because what other choice do you have? Everything is already accepted, otherwise it wouldn't even be here. Creator already accepted everything exactly as it is, otherwise it wouldn't have manifested it. Nothing can happen that hasn't passed through the approval office of Source. Infinite intelligence approved of all these things, including the gremlin fucking you over for all of your life. But it's all up to free will, you see. That's the governor of existence, of experience. And existence is nothing but experience. So, reclaim your throne. Be unafraid. For 2 to 5 seconds at a time, stand up against your vines, against this poisonous infiltrator, and say, no more. Enough is enough. You're fine. I accept you. I forgive you. I love you. Whatever. But at the same time, get the fuck out of my house. We got to develop this simultaneity of love and acceptance and not tolerating any repetitive nonsense. Once you've learned a lesson, be done with it right there and then. Learn it thoroughly right there and then. Okay? Which means don't listen to your fears. Listen to your heart. Relax. Tap into the meanness, the I amness within you. And when you feel really bright and you feel aligned and you feel that your ego is out of the way as much as possible, you'll get a very clear, calm, yet exciting nudge. And then you take it one step at a time. And then the next breadcrumb. And then the next bread. It's not a straight line. Your path is not a foreseeable line. It's a breadcrumb after a breadcrumb after a breadcrumb after a breadcrumb after a breadcrumb, and you don't know how it's going to go. But what you can do is trust every breadcrumb, every impulse of excitement. Leave your ego at the door. Leave your fears at the door. Leave your ambitions at the door. Because what God's guiding you towards, that expansion, has got nothing to do with personal ambition. It is a pure holistic guidance. Now, you might not be completely pure yet because you still associate with your gremlin, and that's okay. Doesn't stop you, shouldn't stop you from acting on what excites you, because that's going to give you the fuel you need to purify along the way. Hope this helps you, Nikki. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for your gratitude. Any chance the tour comes to the USA? Not this year. Probably also not in 2026, maybe 2027. But let's see. Let's see how things flow. Addie asked a question about the causal body. I pretty thoroughly explained this process, I believe, in one or two former Be Live sessions. So I'll just refer you to one of those. Maybe someone can help you find exactly which ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you as well. Bentinho, can you speak a bit on restoring motivation and will for life and doing after years of fatalism? Thank you in advance. Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, by fatalism you mean the idea that everything is based on fate, aka destiny, aka free will either doesn't exist or it exists, but it's got no power to really do anything other than just maybe choose how you wish to suffer about what's destined for you. So fatalism, fatalism is a flaw, and it's almost equal to modern day non-duality teachings, except they give it a bit of a positive spin and gives a bit of a sense of awakening. I don't know if you're in Amsterdam, but or in Holland, or close by, I guess. But I'm gonna give a free event. Obviously, I'll be doing the Freedom Talks, which are for free, but I'm also doing a quote-unquote bonus free event, which is specifically for, not sure if this is where this comes from in you, the fatalism, but it's specifically for the non-dualists, just to help them clarify some of the pitfalls of some of these teachings of determinism and modern-day non-dual teachings, or Neo-Advaita. So if you happen to be around, this might be useful for you, because it will touch upon some of these topics. And it might get you, reactivate that will again. Restoring the motivation and will for life after years of fatalism. Well, yeah, just be done with fatalism. Like, that's also a free will choice, is to buy into that perspective. And the guidance system has been letting you know this whole time that it doesn't feel good. So this whole time that you've been entertaining such ideas, have you felt blissful? Have you felt alive? Have you felt free? Have you felt super bright, overflowing with inspiration and yet infinite calm and peace at the same time? Have you been out there serving others in your joy through your calling? If not, then it's clear that God or higher self, or whatever you want to call, something higher than your current level of consciousness, has been letting you know very exactly that these thoughts regarding fatalism or predeterminism are not true. Because how do they feel? And feeling, the emotions, are simply the metaphysical energy that bounces back against the thoughts that we send out. When we send out thoughts that are harmonious with the universal energy, then it will feel like joy, bliss, freedom, expansion, peace, and so on. Love. But when our thoughts, our vibrations go against the energy of the universe, the pattern, the fabric, the flow, the rhythm, the heartbeat of the creator, when we go against that rhythm, then what we get back energetically is negative feelings or suboptimal feelings. So just realize that you have the choice to let go of fatalism. So look for these ideas when they come up and just discard them. Be like, oh, this one, beautiful. Okay, bye-bye. And then you move on. And then bye-bye. The next one that you notice, and you move on. And more you will be free again. Maybe in a single second. Maybe it will take a couple years of sort of catching and releasing those conditioned ideas. But either way, it's completely up to your free will. You're in charge of what paradigm you buy into. And just because it has seemed real to you for about 10 years or whatever, doesn't matter. it can seem unreal to you in a matter of days. You can recover in a matter of days, even in an instant, hypothetically. So just know that. That's good news. That must feel good, no? To hear that, to think that, because it's true. How to have more faith in me. Just trust. Just surrender your fears. You know, the reason we don't just relax and trust, and it's so effortless, is because we really believe what we believe. We really insist upon what we believe. So one way that you could get out of this, that's maybe a little bit of a hack, is, and this may not work for everybody, because you need to have maybe a bit of a courageous spirit for this, but I believe you all have, so I think this is possible. So let's say a fear comes up for you, and you know that you quote unquote should or want to have more faith in me, capital M, meaning the I am within you, the God presence within you. So you know better, you know to release the fear. But the fear is there, it's projecting an image into the future, and it's making the emotional guidance respond to that, letting you know it's not true. But you've learned to interpret negative emotions as meaning that your thoughts are true and that you should pay even more attention to these. Wrong interpretation, but all right, let's say that's your conditioning. Negative emotion comes in and you grip even more to that idea that something bad can happen. Then, if you in that moment cannot let go of the belief, if you cannot see and reason your way out of that belief, then you could try the following, which is don't care about the negative outcome happening. Be like, okay, if that's what needs to happen, if that's what wants to happen, terrible as it is, I'm just going to prioritize my peace over that negative thing happening or not happening. Meaning, instead of trying to control it from not happening, I'm going to accept the fact that that might happen. So if you can build more resistance to pain and suffering like that, not resistance as in, oh, I'm resisting it, no, resistance as in tolerance, as in an ability to endure with grace, to embrace pain, to embrace loss of a loved one, to embrace lack of financial abundance, to embrace not being able to do what you want to do, to embrace all these things. It takes courage. But if you can say to yourself, if you can believe in yourself, in that moment of a fear seeming more convincing than your guidance to let go into the I am, then instead of trying to not believe in the fear, which is also a valid path, but if that doesn't work, here's just another path, which is, okay, you know what? I'm so fed up with being so stressed about trying to control my life. I'm so fed up. I'm so sick of listening to this motherfucker in my brain, this AI program that's suffocating my life force, that goes against the stream of God's guidance for me all the time, and that suffocates my connection to God, that keeps me small. Not in the egoic sense, because humility is beautiful. But in a true sense, it's keeping you small. It's not letting you breathe. It's not letting your soul free and expand. Again, doesn't mean you as an ego should run around crazy, naked dancing, showing off to everybody how free you are now after a lifetime of suppression by other people. No, that's all more nonsense. Overcompensation. It's not what I'm talking about. Freedom is formless. But the believing in the ego, believing in the gremlin, it suffocates it. So you must become so tired of that, so tired of yourself buying into that, into the fears. You have to be so tired of you being afraid of negative sensations, of painful physical occurrences, of loss and lack, of abandonment and loneliness, and you name it. When you are more sick of yourself caring about all that shit than you are about the actual outcomes that you fear, you're free. Or at least it's that step to freedom. And it's a very rapid one. Because now the gremlin has nowhere to attach to. You're unafraid. Oh, okay, if I die next week, I die next week. You know what? I don't give a fuck. I care more about living in the peace now, living in truth with God now, giving true voice and freedom and expression and knowledge to what inspires me right now. And then I do about dying next week or not, or having an illness, or not being able to go on that vacation, or not having the money for this, or my partner cheating on me, or I don't even care about my partner cheating on me. I just care about my fucking peace of mind and the fact that I live with honor, that I listen to the truth within me, within you. That's what you should care about. When that care gets bigger than your care for, oh, I don't want this to happen. Oh, I'm afraid that will happen. Oh, but what about this loss and lack? Which constantly God is smacking you in the face, letting you know, wake up, wake up, wake up, you silly Billy. It's not true what you're thinking. That's why I'm smacking you in your emotional body. That's why you feel the negative emotion called fear. It's not to reinforce those ideas and make you scheme and plan and manipulate even more, and therefore suffocate your connection to true intelligence even more. It's meant to wake you up and guide you in a different direction of thought. Different perspective, a higher perspective. So if you care more about living true to God, in purity, in honor, in surrender, in trust, right now, in freedom, in peace of mind, than you do about trying to avoid negative things from happening to you, poor old you with your feelings and emotions and sensations. Oh my God, you're so vulnerable, aren't you? No, you're not. Get over it, people. Get over this mindset that you're just human. You're not just human. You're eternal consciousness. You're a multidimensional being. You can never die. Your essence can never die. Nothing is ever lacking or missing. Even when you have zero in your bank account and you've got no place to sleep and you've got no girlfriend or boyfriend, and even your pet doesn't like you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you love Source, that you're in love with the Source, which is all that there is. And this energy of all that there is intelligently connected to all that there is because it's all that there is. Make sense? Therefore, if you act upon that energy, which is all that there is, it's guaranteed that you're going to take the best step, the best choices. Will you never fuck up again? No. You'll make a little mistake. You'll misinterpret the guidance. That's okay. If anything, that's part of the process of being human and going beyond being human. That's fine. But you should at least surrender to this stream. You should at least trust yourself with it. And not suffocate, not pinch off this connection. So care more about your honor towards God, your integrity towards God, than you do about what you fear might happen to poor old little you with your physical body and your limited muscles and your blah, blah, blah. Nobody gives a fuck. This universe doesn't care. Okay? It's not what you are. Trust in the energy of Source, of God, of inspiration. Okay? Become less scared. Don't be this scared little duckling. Ooh, I'm so vulnerable. You're not vulnerable. You are not vulnerable. That's a myth. You've bought into it. And that's not what it means to be human. Such nonsense. Stop suffocating Source in the form of you. You have no right. I guess you do because you have free will, given to you by Source. But it's a fun way to see that, wait a second, I have no right to pinch off this connection to Source for the sake of fearing something happening to my body, my mind, my relationship status, my bank account, my whatever. All that selfish consumption, all that sinning, I have no right. Yes, I have free will. I can do it if I want to. But what right do I really have to go against Source, to not trust the power that animates all that there is? And if you realize that, although it is your right because you have free will, but let's pretend for a second it's not your right. That can be very liberating. When you realize to yourself, in yourself, I don't have the right to fear. That can be super liberating once you get that. Again, it's not true because you have been given free will. But if you pretend, it will work. It will set you free. If you realize, I don't have the right now to trust in my fears over the power that makes everything be, over that which never leaves me. I have no right. That would be dishonorable. So become more honorable. If you lack courage, at least become more honorable. That will lead to courage. Don't be so afraid of sensations. Don't be so afraid of physical pain. Don't be so afraid of emotions. They're just guidance. Don't be so afraid of other people. Don't be so afraid of opinions. Don't be so afraid of not being able to do everything you think you want to do that day. Who cares? Go do something else. Go sit underneath a tree and enjoy the presence of God when you don't have the funds to go to Six Flags. Who cares? You don't have the right to prefer all these little things for yourself over the beauty, the majesty of this moment. Set yourself free. Transcend humanity, whatever that is. According to whom, I don't know. Become immortal as you already are. Make your freedom, your well-being immortal too. Can signs and synchronicities come from dark entities to trick us? Yes. That's why you gotta learn to trust your discernment from a place of connection with God. And the next question for a lot of people would be like, well, how do I do that? Well, if you become an adept, watch every fucking workshop we have, okay? Go through the teachings, then go through the teachings again. Discuss it with your co-mates, your house, your friends. Ask it of me in the Q&A sections. Read my book when it's coming out. It's all ultimately the same thing. Everything I'm teaching you is holistic. Might have different angles, different topics, different themes, but all these ways lead to Rome. But yes, synchronicities can come from little trickster entities that enjoy you postponing your journey. But again, you're doing it out of fear. So if you don't buy into the fear, it becomes much harder to trick you. Doesn't the AI give the signal something is wrong in the form of a bad feeling? Well, first of all, nothing is wrong. But I get what you're saying, I think, which is, how then can we trust guidance when it's steering us away from an unnecessary calamity or an unnecessary mistake or an unnecessary breakup or an unnecessary suboptimal path choice? You know, it's similar to the physical sensation of adrenaline. It's that initial ping. When you, let's say you're crossing a train track and there's a train coming and you didn't see it. Stupid example, because it would require some stupidity for that to happen, but it can happen. It's happened before. So this train suddenly is approaching and you didn't recognize it. The initial 2-second jolt that you feel is your root chakra, based on survival, being the first to filter that sensory information in order to keep your physical body safe. That's why you go high alert. Boom, you can't think about anything else. Everything you were talking about in a moment, it disappears. You're on high alert. You can feel your adrenaline rush through your body. Your nervous system is woken up. Doesn't matter if you were tired before. You are right awake. And so this is to get you to move out of the way, because it knows, the intelligence of your system knows that if you don't get out of the way, you will not have anything else to worry about anyway, or to process or to learn from and so forth. So this is like a physical guidance system for physical danger, actual danger, as opposed to, oh, I don't want to have this feeling tomorrow. Oh, how can I avoid that feeling next week? Oh, how can I avoid this feeling 2 months from now? Oh, how can I make sure I have enough money in my bank account when I'm 65 and I'm only 22 right now? These kinds of things are not the same as a train coming in, which is an actual physical threat to your physical incarnation, not to your consciousness's existence, but to your physical incarnation. So it guides you. It lets you know, hey, high alert. So there is a similar sensation intuitively to when something is off in your metaphysical environment, in your choosing of your timelines, in the choosing of the path that you're embarking upon, things like that. So, or when there is like a bad presence, like a negative entity hovering and trying to cause some unnecessary turmoil and chaos. But again, you got to be unafraid of dying from the train. You got to be unafraid of things being messed up a little bit in your life. You got to know that you can get out of it anyway, that none of this is permanent, and that it doesn't ultimately affect the real you. You want that baseline of enlightenment, because otherwise you're going to buy into every little fear and make up stories about it, and then you'll be unable to discern when you get this genuine red flag moment where something is guiding you to pay attention because something is messing with you, or you're about to make a choice that is not actually what you want to choose. That's an intuitive sense that over time, as you become purer in your consciousness, how? I already said that just now. Go through the teachings. And then, once you are pure, you'll be able to discern more and more clearly when something is just this, this little alert, this little ping that you get, this little alarm bell, just to get you to pay attention. It's not the same as a negative emotion. It's not the same as a story about you. It's just similar to the adrenaline rush on the physical level. It is a little bit similar on the intuitive plane. It's just an alert. It's just like a snap out of your thoughts. You need to pay attention right now. Pay attention. Something is happening. Something needs your attention. Be present. Be present. That's what it feels like. Which is different than the bad feelings that we get from thinking negative thoughts that always have something to do with, oh, me this or me that, or not having this or not having that. All this selfish fucking garbage of lack and fear. That we need to burn. Okay, burn with our will. Just cast it out. Fuck it. Be done with it. Quantum shift. Be free. Now, when you do then get that hit of like, high alert, and I get it all the time. Because stuff is happening in the world and around our mission and so on, and we're on some radars. So I get these hints frequently, not every day, but frequently. It's just like an alert. It's just like your alarm goes off on your phone. It's nothing emotional about it. You can make it emotional, like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. This alarm, I don't like this alarm. But the alarm itself is neutral. It's not an emotion. It's not emotional guidance. It's an intuitive nudge. It's an intuitive, pay attention, wake up. So that's how you can sort of distinguish that. And it's not the AI that's giving the signal something is wrong. It's a higher level of your intelligence. Call it subconscious, call it higher conscious, whatever you will. But when you get the ping that I'm talking about, the red flag, they're like, hey, pay attention, snap out of whatever you were unconsciously doing. I need you fully present. This is an important moment. Just pay attention. That's not given to you by your AI, by the gremlin, by the ego. That's given to you by a deeper, holistic, benign level of your consciousness. So you want to distinguish between PTSD, like a sudden surge of negative emotion that comes with a story and a background of trauma and fear for your physical body and so on, versus just this clean little, hey, pay attention. Okay, what's up? Let me tune in. Let me be present. That's clean. It's got nothing to do with your AI. Portugal, any chance? Yeah, if you make it happen. I mean, we're spending a lot of money here setting up these events. And so we're committing to that from our part. We're giving the message for free. And we'd love to come wherever you want us. On the website, there are ways to contribute financially. And if you have a place in mind, and if you get, if you show us there's enough interest in that additional city, then I'd be very happy if I have the time left in my schedule. I'd be very happy to come to Portugal. If there's, say, like over 100 people that you can guarantee, or you have a venue to offer, or you can demonstrate that the funds will arrive for that, or you can gather the funds for that. We're super happy. If you want to co-create this with us, go ahead. I'll teach for free. I don't need any money for it. Not because I am a millionaire, unlike popular belief, but just because that's not what this message is about. And I want to give this to the world, but you must want it. If you don't want it, if I'm offering it all for free and you don't want it, not saying you personally, but people in general, this is also a reflection of the collective, where it's at, what it wants, what it prioritizes, then there's no circuitry. And so that's another message to the higher levels of consciousness that indeed this is not fully desired yet, that we don't want this badly enough because it's offered. And so if we don't take that opportunity, if we don't gather the co-creative power to make that happen, then that's a beautiful reflection. So absolutely, whatever city, if there is enough interest and there's enough co-creative power there and there's enough conviction and there's enough skin in the game, I will go wherever. And I will teach for hours. Nothing I want from you in return. This is all a free gift. And so yeah, it's in your hands. But I'd be so happy to come to Portugal. I feel a tickle from the inside, a laughter or lightheartedness whenever I meditate on my true self using the "what is me" method. Is this a good sign? Absolutely. Absolutely. Follow that laughter. It will become cosmic. What can people expect at the Amsterdam Weekend Immersion? Okay, so the Freedom Talks are, I'm putting it in contrast to the Amsterdam Weekend Immersion Intensive. We changed the name to Immersion because intensive just sounded a little bit too intensive. And it's still, I wanted people to know that it's also beginner friendly, but it is also for the more advanced practitioner. So the Freedom Talks are for everyone and their mom, and their dog, if the venue allows for it. So bring your friends, of course, provided that they're interested. Bring yourself if you're interested, just to be there in presence, experience what that's like to be there together. And I will give a lecture as the freedom that speaks through me will speak. And that's up to this freedom, and that will be up to that moment. And I cannot predict exactly what that will be because I don't ever prepare things unless necessary for whatever reason. But these Freedom Talks are not rehearsed, or not speeches that are written down. But I will be representing your freedom. I will be representing the God in you and the free accessibility of that divinity within you. And so from that energy state, I will share, and I will make it relatable, but I will not make too many concessions, meaning I will also keep it powerful. I will keep it direct. I will keep it bold, but I will also try to land that with the people that are there, because that's what the natural intelligence that is present through me will always attempt to do. So there will be that. And then the weekend immersion is more like a retreat. It's more dedicated, and I probably will have a couple of topics in mind, a few things that I want to get through with you guys. And this is more like, okay, you've had the introduction during the Freedom Talks. You've had the quote unquote initiation, the initial awakening, the initial recognition, and the initial throwing away of all the old garbage and conditioning about religion and God, what God is, and enlightenment and all that. And you now know it's so simple, and you've felt it. You felt it in the transmission. You've heard it in the words. It resonates for you. So you've been, in a sense, initiated by your own free will. You've been introduced. Initiation is simply another word for being introduced to another state of consciousness. And so you have been introduced. And then we will go more in depth on the practice and the application of that practice and some of the challenges, common challenges of those practices that you will meet along the way. So this will be more of a school type of experience, lectures, but also a lot of Q&A opportunity as well to clarify. So this will just go more in depth. It will have more practical tools, and it will be more also about the integration of this into your life beyond the weekend. Ida asks, I'm in the USA. Can I get to Europe? Will you stream the God Tour events on YouTube? No promises, but we are looking into that. So let's see. Maybe. Thanks for tuning in every other week, guys. I appreciated it. This has been real fun to open it back up to the public for free. So thank you, and hope to see you guys as adepts. Hope to see you guys in person during the tour if you can make it. And if not, I wish you all the fucking best in the world and beyond. And you deserve it, and it's already yours. Okay? So much love. Bye-bye. We wish to make true spirituality, the true direct knowledge of God, commonplace knowledge. Because this is about accessing the real self, the freedom, the potential, the possibility, our understanding of God. That's what this tour is all about. It is about returning God to the people, which is already in the making in the collective consciousness anyway. We're just supporting its further ignition, its acceleration. And so can you, if you wish to participate.